Welcome back, my children. I'm here once again with another episode of I Played a Thing, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. Last time we did a little ghost busting and it did make me feel good. And we're going back into the Dragon Sanctuary of the Dragon Worshippers of Shulva today, so we are going Priestess. And really, I don't think we have any prelims to take care of this time. We are all ready to roll on in, so let's go on and head back to Shulva. And all of those Sanctum Knights that we killed are gonna be respawned because we did rest at a bonfire, but they're not ghosts no more. They are made of meat, and now we can butcher them like meat. So let's get right back to it. I gotta be honest with you folks, I do not remember the next stretch of the Sanctum particularly well. There's a Sunbro here, that's kind of an unusual place to leave a summon sign. I don't think we really need a Jolly Cooperator right this second. But good to know they're still around. Just gonna shoot the Priestess in the ass while we're over here. We don't need hexes flying at us while we're trying to take care of other business. Their death cry always kind of makes me laugh because it's really butch sounding for a priestess. It's like, "Bruh!" I think if we just drop down right here, not into the gaping hole of course, but onto the stairs, and then descend, we can probably proceed without attracting a whole lot of attention from that big open sandy area just behind us. We'll have a knight here again, but that's okay. He's gonna be dumb about getting his swords out in a timely fashion, and I'll flub the backstab, but that's okay. Visions of Labyrinth. Yeah, that's quite a place. Yeah, don't really remember this area as well as the last, because running away from ghosts that you can't injure does tend to make an area fairly memorable. So hopefully I won't miss any important secrets or anything like that. Despair? Dead end indeed. And why are there so many corpses here? What are people dying from? I want to take a look. Oh, did you all get chased into a corner by the ghosts? Bad move, brothers. Oh, I think I might remember what's ahead. You might be seeing an invasion message in a moment here. Dashing through and then try right? I'm not so sure about that. Ah, Dark Spirit, yep. Yeah, I think I do remember what's coming. Yep, Jester Thomas. Our favorite pyromaniacal payaso has returned, this time not as our buddy. The bad news is, he has most of the nastiest pyromancies in the game, maxed out casting speed, and is wearing the Jester outfit, which means he cannot be backstabbed. Good news is he is susceptible to poison, if we can get it off on him. There we go. And this does give us an opportunity to get back at him for choking on us during the Myth of the Baneful Queen fight. Oh, that great combustion, though. Now, optimally, I would have swapped out for my fireproof great shield here, but I did not think to do so in time. Alright, that's it for the poison. Ooh, I think that's a great Chaos Fireball he keeps hitting me with. Yeah, the Gurm Great Shield here is a great help if you happen to remember to equip it, which I really should have, but didn't. Oh, when he starts to hurt bad enough, he does like to cast Warmth, but he's not particularly good about staying in its range, so it typically isn't a game changer. We'll watch out for those firestorms. No, you don't, young man. Get poisoned. Oh, got me. Alright, he's poisoned. He's hurting fairly bad. Want to try and take him down the rest of the way before he gets too warmed up. Back at his warmth location there. Oh! 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 The shrug. Gotta love it. Really doesn't get a whole lot closer than that, folks. And now we're all hollowed, but we don't really need to summon anyone right now, so that's okay. And this time I will take the shield that I should have taken in the first place. That was really kind of senseless of me. Ah well, you live, you learn. You die again. Not strictly necessary to bother with the Sanctum Priestess here, but let's see if maybe she'll drop that headpiece for me. Doesn't seem to want to cooperate, though. Ah well, that's okay. We don't have anything threatening us too much between here and Thomas, so at least we should be able to recover our soul pile with a minimum of aggravation. Even when you do think to get out your swords in a timely fashion, still leave yourself wide open for that backstab there, don't you? Sucks to not be a ghost anymore. Alright, got my shield handy, got my hammer handy. Gonna try and bash some poison into his skull and then finish it off with the big one. Tommy boy, you even paying attention? No, he's getting away from me, which probably means... Oh, ow. Oh, you dick. Oh, and I did get the poison off on him. I thought his build-up would have gone down too fast for that. Well, you can throw fireballs at me all day, as long as they hit my shield, because I'm not going to take any chip damage from it no more. That poison's off, though. Ooh. Those turnaround strikes do pose a threat. As do those firestorms. Get that shield up in time, though, and it gets a lot less threatening. And he's least threatening of all when you've stoved his head in. I'll even take advantage of his warmth. Sadly, aside from the standard Dark Phantom human effigy, we do not get any additional goods dropped from him. I suppose it is a bit of a danger zone. Yeah, good luck. Help. Raw for poison. And stay calm, weakness circling around. Pretty good advice. Yeah. What we got up ahead, you remember when I was first entering the Sanctum City area and I looked down off a cliff and said there was a watery wetland sort of area down there with dinosaur things stomping around and I was going to hate it? Yeah, that's this now. We are about to enter the lair of the imperfect, and those dinosaur thingies are the imperfect. And they are no fun to fight, especially more than one at a time. Let's go ahead and open up the fog so we can see in there. I'm thinking I might just like to drop one or two of them from a distance before I actually go in there. Because these guys are a little bit like the Bounding Demons of Izalith, the Dragon Asses from Dark Souls 1. Big difference is they've got a lot more going for them. They do respawn, unlike the Bounding Demons. They can bite you with their big old stubby teeth. They can grab you with their giant mouth full of big old stubby teeth. Just like the Bounding Demons, they can jump way up into the air, come down on you with an unblockable stomp. They have a dark magic projectile with a small AoE. That's a little extra fun. And finally, they have a charging headbutt style attack, which can cover a tremendous amount of distance in a small amount of time, so running away from them, you may just get smacked in the ass by a dash attack. One act of mercy here is that the Lair of the Imperfect is a small area, which means you can probably proceed through without having to fight all of these guys, if you just run like hell. But running doesn't always work out well, as I mentioned, on account of their rapid dash attacks, which is why I like to try and... Oh! A little too slow on the escape there. I like to try kill one or two of them between here and the next checkpoint. Oh, didn't mean to aggro two of them at once. Oh well. Oh, another big difference between these guys and the Bounding Demons of Izalith. They don't have a huge... God damn. They don't have a huge aggro radius, but it is a lot better than the almost negligible aggro radius of the Bounding Demons. They will notice you from a respectable distance, if not as much of a distance as your average enemy. But yeah, fighting these guys even one at a time can be a little nerve-wracking. Fighting two of them at a time is a really good reason to run away. And one of the real bummers is, they are one of the very few reliable sources of dragon scales. So if you want to farm dragon scales for the Dragon Remnants Covenant without actually doing lots of PvP, this is pretty much your only opportunity to do that, aside from fighting dragon men in the Dragon Shrine, which is about as bad. Ah, damn it. Taking too long to recover from my bow shots to roll out of the way of that attack. Finally! Another nice thing, if you're in the market for some rare upgrade materials, in addition to dragon scales, they can also drop petrified dragon bone. One other nice thing about these guys, something that's a little bit helpful in dealing with them. Oh, that AoE though. Is that when they first notice you, when they first go aggro, they roar. You probably noticed that when I shot them with an arrow from a distance. Yeah, so at least you know when you've been spotted, because they'll roar to alert you, to let you know they've been alerted. I can probably drop this ring of blades and put some life protection on. Might as well use a human effigy, so I'll stay human if I die. I think that ought to work out for me. Now then, at the back of the Lair of the Imperfect, we're going to find our next bonfire. Thing I often do if I don't bother to take these guys out from a distance is just to haul ass to the bonfire, get there as quickly as possible. Yeah, getting below them isn't a bad strategy as long as you feel confident about dodging their bites. Not entirely reliable, though. And you do have to be careful they don't show off their mad vertical ups and just drop on you. Not gonna worry too much about bits of treasure in this area because none of it is really important. But petrified dragon bones are always nice, and as long as I do not have dinosaurs on my ass, imperfect if you will, then I'll take the moment to grab something. But as that message indicated, just trying to get through here without getting into fights is a pretty solid strategy. Again, they are not bounding demon clueless with respect to your presence, but they're not super alert either. Let's see if I can steal this treasure without getting caught. Yes, and more effigies are welcome. Let's see, we got 2 over there. I think there's 1 over here somewhere. So let's see if we can make a theft. Theft successful, and it's a real good consumable. Do you see me? No. Oh shit! Cheese it! Nope, 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 nope. There's that dash I talked about. He very nearly caught me. Oh, that AoE. One very fortunate bit of news, though, is that I am now in the clear because they do not leave their aquatic habitat. Once you are up on the dry land here, they will not follow you. Whew. Okay, that actually wasn't quite as bad as I made it out to be. But if you get a bad lot or get really determined in trying to take them all out, it can go bad for you pretty easily. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Now, right here is where we're going to use that dragon stone we picked up. Boop. And we just put a very tall bridge in place. Gotta say, in addition to the lovely architecture, there was some pretty impressive technology they had here in Shulva. Or perhaps it's all magic. Well, you know what they say about any sufficiently advanced technology. Also, I don't really need to be using this fireproof shield anymore. You can swap back out for the Havel, which has better resistance to everything but fire. And yes, I am happy to be out of the lair of the imperfect. Now, what is ahead of the game here? Not real sure. But I think if we give this a kabong, we can possibly open a shortcut here. Yes, that does appear to be what is happening. I'm not entirely certain where this one leads. So let's find out together. Aha! Actually, no, that's not an aha. I still don't know where I am. Oh, you know what? This, I believe, is the shortcut that's going to go all the way back up to near the very beginning. Let us test that hypothesis. I hear a bonfire noise, and yeah, okay. Yeah, this is the entrance to the DLC. The very first bonfire. So cool. We now have a shortcut from the beginning all the way to our current state of progress. And I am not at all displeased with that. Alright, and That's the way down, and I think this might be progress? Let's see. Yeah, that's leading right up into the heart of that there ziggurat. And this, I think, is where we put the bridge in place, maybe? Yeah, it is a nice view. Yeah, nice view, isn't it? Right leg and left leg. That would be quite a jog there. The stuff of Rocky training montages. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. I'm gonna take the elevator back down first and see what that other path was. Because I think up into the ziggurat there is the way ahead towards the end of the DLC. And we want to finish our explorations before we go poking around in that, don't we? Key required ahead. Nope, seems like there is, or there ought to be something you could do with this big old green glowy stone here, but nope. Just scenery. Treasure ahead? Is there really? I won't, thank you. Ah, a Drakeblood Greatsword. Well, we have been hearing about the Drakeblood Knights that were the folks that were led by Sir Jorg, and they were being guarded against by the Sanctum Soldiers and Sanctum Knights. So let's go ahead and see what their Greatsword has to tell us. Greatsword wielded by the Drakeblood Knights, led by the Honorable Sir Jorg. The insignia chiseled upon its hilt symbolizes dragon's blood. To the Drakeblood Knights, fresh dragon blood was sacrosanct. They believed that by obtaining it, they could achieve a true understanding of life, transcending their own banal existence. Ah, the pieces begin to come together. With fresh dragon blood, the Drakeblood Knights seem to think they could ascend to a higher plane of existence, and the dragon-worshipping folks, housing the slumbering dragon Sinh at the Dragon Sanctum, probably weren't too keen on all of these knights rushing in and invading the place and spilling their precious dragon's valuable blood. So we have an early understanding of what was happening here, at least. A few pieces to the puzzle. And before we go and try and puzzle out any more, I'm going to make a pit stop. Get my Estus back, fix up my weaponry loadout. And back down the hole we go. And back into the sanctum we go. Yep, this is just another part of the sanctum. But it is a new area for us. Looks like we won't be going up that way. Wielding this kind of weaponry, I'm fairly sure Salad could pull herself up on that ledge, but she don't wanna. Jumping and then jumping, indeed. Yep, we've got quite a ways down to go. Plop. There's really no avoiding taking some damage in the descent here, but it'll be little bits of damage. I suppose you could always put on some fall control equipment, but that's not strictly necessary. Visions of boss? Yep. We've got a flame-flanked fog gate down there. which is a pretty good indicator of a boss fight, I should think. Hint? Yes. Do have to be a little careful with your descent here. Not fall places that are going to kill you. Maybe just bang you up a little tiny bit. Also, as we gradually descend, we're probably going to start encountering a few of those fabled Drakeblood Knights. Some of them are still sticking around in rather badly hollowed form, but they can still put up a fight. Unlike the Sanctum Soldiers and Knights, they're just NPC-type enemies with normal NPC-type moves, but they're pretty well equipped and pretty capable. Oh, man, he poised right through me there. Ah, gravity, my greatest foe. Well, I suppose I could take a friend along since we are approaching the boss, but there is more exploration to be done, so we'll keep on doing this thing on our own. And I'll be a little more careful about the Drakeblood. Elevator? There you are. I know I'm missing a chunk of the level. I think up on the highest tier there. I can only assume the way we get to that is somewhere later, because I really don't remember. Ah well. Someday we'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. The salad, the dragon, and me. And we want to drop carefully right there onto the bridge here. Somewhere around here I should be seeing my bloodstain, I think. Where are you at, remains of me? The hell my bloodstain go? Ah well. No matter. We're just gonna take out Mr. Drakeblood here. I think I just might have exposed a Sanctum Knight because I heard someone shooting. Oh, yep, there he is. Well, we'll have no part of that. God damn, you got a lot of hit points, dude. Doesn't seem like he can really hit us there, even though he's a little agitated. Hey! No running. Oh, has he got a way down from there? I think he might. He ran off somewhere. Okay, that was weird. Truly do not know where the hell that dude went. Oh well, let's... Oh, right. I totally forgot. There's a huge pile of crystal lizards up there. We're probably not going to be able to get them all, but if we're fast, we should be able to whack at least a few good ones when we turn this thing again. You'll notice the door mechanism here is a little bit out of true, so going through it is a little trickier than usual, but we can let the lizards out easy enough. Here they come. Oh, only 2? That sucks. Slabs, some firestones, a couple Twinkies, that's nice. We can creep through that while it's turning, but yeah, there's nothing else good in here. It is in fact pointless, and no, there's no illusory wall. So we will just turn this a couple times and scoot on through. And I think later I'm probably going to come back here and try and grab a few more of those lizards. Oh, it actually lined up eventually. Huh, how about that? Oh, there's no despair. Oh, he came down a level. Okay. Well, that just means he's going to be real easy to backstab. Should be shooting him through the hole all day. Yeah, all the pre-looted treasure chests, I will admit, is a bit disappointing. Oh well. Alright, I think we've done about all we can right in this particular spot, so let us continue our descent. Can I get over there? Let's try. Oh god, that's all gone wrong. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to go back and get my rings fixed, and then I will return in just a moment. And we'll try and do that with a little more dignity. Maybe pick up a few more lizards in the process. Okay, third time's a charm, right? I've already killed Mr. Drakeblood in here. So let's go ahead and see if we can't do a number on the lizards too. They're not all one time, are they? Nope, they're still up there. Didn't think there were any special case one-time type crystal lizards in this game, and I am pleased to see that I'm right about that. Come on down, little guys. I'm not gonna hurt you much. Wonder what exactly sets them off. They don't seem too anxious to move this time. Come on, little dudes. Pour forth from your hidey hole. There we go. Oh, that's not a good start. That's somewhat better. That's not. Ooh, that's a very good selection, though. Not gonna complain about that. No real point in fooling around with that Sanctum Knight any further, though. So we'll just continue on this path here. This time I will try and align myself better with that column to stop my roll. That didn't help in the slightest bit. Alright, Drakeblood Gentleman is down again. Got another opportunity to get our final crystal lizard here, I should think. Unless he already bailed out. He may have. Well, let's turn this thing around and find out, just to make sure. I don't see a lizard up there. I think he may have cheesed it while I was fighting with the Drakeblood Knight because I left this this gateway open here. Oh well, it do happen. And this, okay, I think I am done fucking around with that platform right there. Unless maybe I can... No. Nope, not even messing with it. We are just gonna drop down. Over there, though, that looks worth investigating. Listen carefully, don't you dare. You know what? That is kind of a broad gap now, isn't it? My suspicion runneth over. I really wish I had a somewhat more vivid memory of this part, but sadly I don't. I do, however, remember that somewhere around here, might not be on this floor, but somewhere around here there is an illusory wall leading to another bonfire. Somewhere in this general descent section. That's what I was looking for. Whew, 2,000, and he's still standing. Alright, where do we go from here? I am not entirely sure. Something else I'm not entirely sure of is where that illusory wall is. Thought it might be somewhere in one of these back hallways, but I ain't a-findin'. Oh, alright. We will continue onward. That doesn't look like a good drop-down kind of spot. I think over here we had something a little more promising. What about from... Ah, okay, we can go down this way. Ah! There's an indication of where our illusory wall is. Thank you, message. And here we are. No particular reason to be wary of this bonfire. It's perfectly serviceable for what it is. Ah, I gotta stop trying to retaliate after those guard breaks. They really don't have any significant recovery time. NPC-type foes can immediately start hitting you again after a guard break. And it would do me well to remember that. But it is a thing I do have a hard time keeping mindful about in the heat of combat. Oh, an actual unbroken staircase. That's something you don't often see around these parts. On the other hand, we do seem to keep seeing Drakeblood Knights. Oh, and getting stabbed by them, too. That was a little too big there, champ. Kinda exposed yourself. And not in the sexy way. Confidence in jumping? I don't know about that. Another set of looted treasure. Guess the Drakebloods have already gone over this place and pretty good detail. But they did leave their stuff. You can always take that. Let's find that helmet. There we go. Black Helm of the Drakeblood Knights, who came from a land long forgotten. The Drakeblood Knights, who worshipped the blood of dragons, were led by Sir Jorg in a siege of the Eternal Sanctum, but sunk into the sanctum when the slumbering dragon awoke. The red cloth wrapped around their black armor represents the sacred blood of dragons. Dragon waking up was not good for them, huh? Well, waking a dragon does tend to have that effect. Really something that ends well for the waker. I mean, didn't we learn anything from the classic board game, Don't Wake the Dragon? Please don't wake the dragon, let the dragon snore. You can try to take the penguin eggs, but watch out for his roar. Alright. What is our next course of action from hereabouts? It is a mystery. At least it's a mystery to me. I'd really kind of rather not plummet to my death again. It's really kind of embarrassing how many times that's already happened this episode. But I am slightly a loss to how to proceed right here. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm gonna head up the stairs. Try and see if maybe there's an alternate way to fall down instead of descending from the staircase. Maybe. Maybe. Definitely maybe. Huh. This has potential. Little plop. Another little plop. Now that looks jumpable. This definitely looks jumpable. Well, I'm gonna go the way that has obvious treasure. Oh, double dragon. Alright, first one down with a minimum of fuss. I can get behind that. A lovely stash of Twinkies. Yeah, how about you? Why don't you come over and play? Bad move, brother. Everything looks cool over there. Everything looks cool over there. Large soul of a brave warrior is very cool. As is another big pile of twinkling titanite. They're very generous with that around here. Lots of trades, too. Well, this is definitely a case of fortune favors the bold, making that jump turned out to be a pretty good call after all. Yoink! This appears to be the final step down to where the boss awaits. I'm still missing a chunk of the level, and I'm not entirely sure where I left it. We'll have to do a little back tracking at some point and see if I can't get that sorted out. But for the moment, we can descend the rest of the way to Dragon's Rest. Friends are good to have. Let me explore around, make sure there's nothing else of importance down on the ground floor here. Oh, Ben art. Cool. I have no idea what that means. Or that. Visions of Up. I kind of like that. Huh. Yeah, I really do not remember where the other branch of the level disappeared to. Well, we'll figure that out later. We're here where the boss lives, so we might as well tangle with it. Right here we have our other NPC option, Steelheart Ellie. Ellie I don't remember being particularly great, although she does fight barehanded, which is kind of cool. Well, not barehanded, but with glove-type weapons. I think she might also have a pyromancy flame. Honestly, I think Benart might be the better choice for this one, but, well, we haven't seen Ellie before, so we'll bring her along. Hi, Elle. I really thought she had a greeting animation. I'm surprised she didn't do a gesture or anything. Oh well, never mind that. Well, I think we've found the source of that mysterious singing, and it is our friend here, Ilana, the Squalid Queen. A lot of people have a fairly tough time with Ilana, but she usually isn't one of the tougher bosses for me. Of course, now that I've spoken those words, I will surely regret them. She is a very capable caster with a selection of hexes and a little bit of pyromancy, I believe. She also has a fuck-off big halberd. That right there that she cast was a very rapid-acting version of Flame Swathe, and she just summoned a muddy dirt person version of Velstadt, who can now poison you with his big old bell hammer. Now, you may recall that I said I thought I might have an idea of where Velstadt originally came from. I think he might be from Shulva, because if oh shit, that didn't go well. If our friend there, Ilana, is summoning Velstadt, she's either familiar with him personally or familiar with other warriors that look like him. And they did say that Velstadt was from a distant land, and being as he uses a sacred chime for a hammer and uses the sacred oath spell, he does seem to be a religious sort. So he could very well be from Shulva. I mean, it's a bit of a leap, but it seems like a plausible one to me. But we've been distracted with a muddy summon for too long. It's high time we got back on the stick with respect to our squalid friend here, who promptly seems to have busted out another Velstadt. That's not good. That is not her only summon possibility. She can also bring out skeletons, or if you're lucky, just a couple of pigs. The three little pigs are, needless to say, not much of a threat, and if she summons those, you've caught a little bit of a break. Ugh. Okay, we no longer have someone drawing some of the enemy attention for us, which is not the most gorgeous situation. But although I'm sure she's perfectly capable, I have never actually seen Ilana summon Velstadt 3 times in one fight, so hopefully that will be the last. What she's got here is something akin to Homing Soul Arrow, just a dark version of it. Are you fucking shitting me? Now you might think, why don't I just go after Ilana at this point? Well, I've tried that strategy before, and trying to take her on with a functional Velstadt around, I have found to not be a good strategy at all. He just hits too damn hard. Case in point. Also starting to run a bit low on Estus. Oh, not a big fan of this situation at all. Oh! I'm not sure how she got through my guard there. I guess it was just where my where my shield box was placed. But yeah, Ilana's actually most dangerous means of coming after you is with her melee, because that giant halberd of hers hurts like a bitch. It's actually much nastier to get hit with than any of her magic. Oh, even though her magic is more impressive looking. And yeah, I definitely shouldn't have said that I usually do okay with this fight. It has clearly gone off the rails. Although I gotta say, again, I have never seen her summon Velstadt that many times. At least now she's gone into skeleton mode. And these guys I can currently drop with a single hit, so that makes life a little easier. Oh, God! Down to life gems here. It's downright undignified is what it is. Didn't quite finish the skeleton there, but I got a piece of it. That's a beginning. And I'm starting to think, with the way I've been playing this episode, I really was not deserving of the mire. Nope! Oh, shit. That's right, you give me a chance to heal there. I ain't gonna turn it down. Oh, more skeletons, but while she brings them to life... Got me with a little bit of the flame swathe there. No, you don't. And this fight's gotten way more exciting than it usually is. Yeah, go ahead, make your little humming things fly at me. Well, she likes her skeletons today. Well, not as much as she liked her Velstadt. That was just upsetting. Yeah, pretty much any other day I would have been done with this by now. This fight is dragging on a lot more than it typically does. But them's the breaks. Fortunately, I can tank her halberd attacks pretty readily. Bonk. Oh well, I guess after I had reverse recording luck yesterday, it was only a matter of time until I got back to the regular kind. Excuse me, ma'am. You know what, I ain't got time for another Velstadt. You gotta die right now. Just like that. Dear God in heaven, I made a dog's breakfast of that. Well, now that we have won that fight, the big old carved stone mural of the dragon there opens up to allow us passage. Now you might think, we done killed a boss, but we don't actually have a crown yet. And we did come here for the crown of the Sunken King, so yeah, we're not done yet. We've got our next boss fight right up ahead there. But let's take care of a little business before we head on to that. First of all, let's take a look at that boss soul and see if we can't figure out anything about who this Ilana person is. Soul of Ilana, the squalid queen, who rests beside the slumbering dragon of the eternal sanctum. This child of dark accompanies the dragon, slowly amassing souls in anticipation of the coming day of vengeance. this wondrous soul of this augur of wrath, etc., etc. Now there are a couple of important bits of information here. First is that she's a child of dark. We'll get more information about that in the future, but for the moment, I just want you to know, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this. Elana was a fragment of Manus. Yep, back in the days of ancient Ulasil, when we slew Manus, father of the Abyss, his essence was split into fragments, and they have survived all these hundreds of years. And now some of them have revived in various parts of sort of his essence, his personality. Elana was the embodiment of Manus' wrath, which is why there's really not a whole lot to her. She's just pissed off and wants to kill everything. Now what I could do at this point is go back and try and figure out where I lost part of the level, or trade in that soul. But first thing we're going to do is actually finish up with the proper boss of the DLC, and finish up with the actual crown-seeking part of it. Because we are almost at the end, and it seems a shame to back off and kind of drag things out now, right? Well, right here we have one of my very favorite NPCs, Transcendent Eddie. Yeah, it might just be Transcendent Ed, because there's no I in the Eddie, but I like Transcendent Eddie. He's a dragon man with a big dragon sword and a dragon shield, and he's very tough. He actually tends to survive the upcoming boss fight, which is a pretty long and nasty one. Another option we have is Abbess Fiva, who is a caster, as you might expect, inclined toward miracles. I think I'm gonna go with this gentleman right here, because when you have an opportunity to roll into battle alongside a dragon man named Transcendent Eddie, by God, you do it. He's even polite. Now then, with everything we've seen and done in this DLC, and bit of business we have yet undone, well, you can probably guess what's left. Yeah, we haven't fought that big-ass dragon yet, have we? Sort of the star of the show around here. And being a dragon, it'd be a pretty good idea to roll on something fireproof, wouldn't it? Alright. You ready, Eddie? Let's rock and roll. Yep, there he is. Sin, the slumbering dragon. And just look at that. He's so badly speared through that it's like an exit wound. Well, we can probably assume pretty safely that that particular spear was a possession of Sir Jorg. We've seen Dragon Slayers and how they like their spears in the Soul series. And we can also see now that Sin's flames are toxic. Yep, in addition to generous fire damage, they cause toxic buildup. And perhaps you can start to see what happened to the entire civilization of Shulva. Also, it is possible to cut off Sin's tail. Doesn't give you anything, but it prevents him from using it to whack you with. So it's not a terrible idea to get rid of it if you have the opportunity. Sin is in some ways a little bit like the Calamite fight. He likes to charge at you with swooping attacks, he likes his fire attacks, he likes his bites, and the occasional tail attack. But he does tend to spend more time in the air than Calamite does, so that's one thing you have to be careful of. Also, when he spits those greenish fireballs down, they leave toxic clouds in their wake, which last for a pretty good while, so something else to be careful of. Oh! Tail to the mush. Alright, folks, I'm gonna run right back to good old Majula real quick, and I'm going to get my rings fixed and cash in some of these souls, so please do bear with me for a moment or two. I see we're over the 1 hour mark, but there are going to be some edits to make because of my various stupid dyings. And yes, I could go back to the kinky tree to get these rings repaired, but I really don't feel like dealing with all those Sanctum soldiers again on the way.
I'll be around.
So, what I'm gonna do here is cash in some of my souls so I can free up that ring slot. I think steel protection would benefit me here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I was gonna get vitality up to 40, wasn't I? We can get that all taken care of right here. And maybe with a consumable. I don't think that's gonna quite be enough. No, not quite. Well, whatever, I'm going for it. Dragon's Rest does get its own spot on the bonfire map, even though there's so very little of it. Oh well. Summoning a player at this point would probably be the safest thing to do, but I say this victory belongs to me and Eddie. Sorry, man. Alright. Take two, and this time, watch the tail. And you can definitely see why I like to cut it off, by the way. Considering it can definitely put a hurting on you if he manages to catch you with a full swing. Oh, to the air already. What you gonna do? Fireball. Alright, well that's gonna leave a toxic patch that I don't particularly delight in dealing with, but that's okay. Shot to the neck. You gonna dive? You're gonna dive. Being the hard hitter that he is, Sinh can do quite a bit of damage to your stability even when you block his attacks, so that's something to be wary of. It's not always easy to see when they're coming, especially if you're locked onto a particular part of his body that he's not using, but dodging Sin's attacks when you can is generally a good move. I think I got a piece of the tail there. Don't know if I'll ever manage to fully cut it off, but I can try. Ha! Nice. The tail chop is disarmed. Okay, restore that stamina. Dodge, get caught with some of the fire anyway, but that's alright, I'm still good on Estus. Eddie tanking that fire for us. Good man. Come on down, Sinh. Oh, or cruise across the map, whichever. Whew! Maybe I should have brought a poison bite ring. Damn it! Get down here and fight properly. Oh shit, look how broken my greatsword already is. That's another issue about Sin. He is very rough on your weapons. Maybe it's because of all that poison in him. But yeah, you can wear out your equipment on him real quick. You can also wear out your patience real quick if he refuses to stay on the ground. Yeah, I walked into that one. And I'm not sure why I couldn't block that. Maybe it just does too much damage. But I think maybe I didn't catch it quite properly on my shield. Zoom! I'm okay with that, gives me a moment to heal. Why don't you breathe your ground fire or something so, you know, I could maybe punish you a little for it? Maybe? That's right, come on down. Oh, and I believe that is a new move he gets at 50% health. Before you've got his health halfway down, I don't think he can turn around and breathe fire behind him. But once he's sufficiently wounded, he sure as hell will. And I gotta remember that part comes with a stomp. Sin's got a fairly varied moveset, even on the ground, so that's part of the challenge to this battle. Just remembering all the things he can do, and when he likes to do them. Oh, he's breathing. That would have been a good opportunity if I was watching my zoning there. Poor Eddie's starting to feel the burn a bit. Oh, that went all wrong. I'm on the verge of being toxified. I gotta be a little more careful. Couple of solid blows there, I'm happy with that. Just gonna do the rear fire. Doesn't last that long, doesn't cover all of his backside, just one side of him. I don't think he's got much left in the tank. Precisely that much. We did it, Eddie! We did it! And just as he gets toxed, too. Just in time. Well, we had a good ally there. And hopefully, Eddie lives somewhere in time. Well, we got a little extra treasure over here. Jorg's ring. And this is a pretty damn nifty ring, actually. Sometimes deflects spells. Ring of Sir Jorg, who sought the blood of a dragon and invaded Shulva. When Sir Jorg faced Sin, the slumbering dragon, he drew blood with a flash of his steel, but Sin responded by spewing forth the poison that had long brewed within him, blanketing the city in a miasmic cloud. Well, we now know exactly what happened here. Sir Jorg went and tried to get some of that sweet, sweet dragon blood by slaying Sin, but Sin was just a little too toxic on the inside and managed to drown the entire civilization in poison. Well, pretty concentrated stuff, I guess. But most important of all, right here we can find exactly what we came for. The crown of the Sunken King. A faint heat lingers in the ancient crown. Well, let's start with a look at that. The king erected the eternal sanctum below the earth to worship the great dragon, but the towering bulwark crumbled with the city shortly after the dragon's awakening. But these were events of long ago, and today no one even remembers the king's name. Well, a tragic tale. And how about that dragon soul? Soul of Sin the dragon, who sleeps in the lowermost depths of this land. Not anymore. The king erected a magnificent city, and the dragon slept soundly, until Sir Jorg disturbed it with a single great strike, and the dragon could bear its store of poison no longer. The reign of death toppled the city, but restored the dragon's purity. Now, something that I'm not crazy about with respect to this DLC is that it really doesn't have a whole lot of story relating to the actual king or to his queen. Now, the other kings that we seek the lost crowns of, they'll be a little more important to their respective DLCs, as will their queens. Ilana's just kind of here to be a really pissed off shard of Manus and, try and stove your head in with a giant halberd. Not much to her. The other queens should be a little more interesting. Crown of the Sunken King is more the tale of Sir Jorg and his giant nation-asphyxiating fuck-up. Well, I'm going to save trading in those souls and seeing what we can get for them until next time. What I really want to do right now is finish things up with another trip to our old buddy Vendrick. Or at least, to his memories. Actually, on the way here, I was thinking, Velst not being from Shulva probably doesn't make sense, because if the fall of the kingdom was so long ago that no one even remembers the king's name, that would make Velstad really, really old. So, yeah, it was a nice theory, but I don't think that one holds water in the end. Ah well. Hey, V-Dog. You know that whole seeking the crown, seeking adversity thing? I got a good start on that.
Seeker of fire, deliverer of crowns. What do you see in the flames? Find the crowns and your own answers. The crowns hold the strength of lords from times long past. Seek adversity, as befits you, seeker of fire, coveter of the throne.
I'm on it, your lordship.
Seeker of fire, conqueror of dark. I too sought fire once. With fire, they say, a true king can harness the curse. A lie, but I knew no better. Seeker of fire, you know not the depth of dark within you. It grows deeper still, the more flame you covet. Flame, oh, flame. I am king of this wretched, unraveled kingdom. I subdued the giants and claimed their strength, so that I might step closer to fire. Drang Lake will fall, the fire will fade, and the souls of old will re-emerge. With dark unshackled, a curse will be upon us, and men will take their true shape. Drang Lake will fall, the fire will fade, and the souls of old will re-emerge. With dark unshackled, a curse will be upon us, and men will take their true shape.
The flames fading, a curse coming upon us, and mankind taking its true shape. Yeah, we've all heard this before, haven't we? Well, it remains a big theme of Dark Souls 2. This has all happened before. This will all happen again. Wheels within wheels. Well, folks, I must humbly beg your forgiveness for making kind of a dog's breakfast out of my gameplay today. But in the end, we did get through the bosses without too much of a headache. And we've now seen our first child of Dark, our first revived splinter of Manus. And that's going to be of great significance in the DLC to come. So next time, we will try and wrap things up completely with Shulva, trade in those 2 boss souls, and I'll see if I can find the last bit of the level. Until then, happy trails, and thank you very much for watching. Today's clumsy but eventful episode of I Played a Thing has been brought to you through the generous patronage of Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Charlie Dunst, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Johnny Millennium, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Craig Patterson, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Darren Chow, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Argyle Jelly, Mechazaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, August Fortnite, and many more. Thanks also, of course, to all you wonderful subscribers, commenters, and watchers. The moral support and motivation help keep this crate a-flying, and I truly appreciate it. Till next time, take care.